Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dan Scripps, Chair of the Michigan Public Service Commission, and I call this meeting of the Commission to order on February 18th, 2021 at 1:30 p.m. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Chair Scripps.
I am present and attending remotely from Eaton County, Michigan.
Commissioner Phillips.
Commissioner Phillips, I believe you might be on mute.
Present and attending from a frigid Ingham County, Michigan as well. Thank you.
Commissioner Paratek.
I'm present and attending remotely from Wayne County, Michigan.
Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. We are holding this meeting again remotely using Microsoft Live Event. It is compatible with all browsers except Safari. Telephone relay service is available through the phone option. If you are participating via the live stream, you may also turn on the live captions by clicking on the closed caption or CC button in the lower right corner of the screen. During this meeting, we will call out participant names before speaking to support those listening only by phone or using the relay service. As indicated in the notice for today's meeting, if we lose connection, the Commission will be in recess. We will attempt to re-establish a connection, but if we are unable to do so within 15 minutes, we will adjourn. Decisions made prior to the disconnection will be binding and other business will be handled at a future meeting. We will not recess or adjourn due to technical issues experienced by individual members of the public. The meeting will be recorded and available for future reference on the Commission's website. In addition, the Commissioners can receive comment via mpsc_commissioners@michigan.gov. For reference, this email is also included in the Q&A feature on the live stream event on your computer and in the meeting notice. If you have intermittent internet service, you should consider listening to the meeting via telephone, not on the computer. So if there is an interruption, you can avoid missing part of the meeting. Another option is to watch the meeting through your internet service with the sound muted and then listen to the audio from your phone. Please keep in mind the video feed has a slight delay while the telephone line is in real time. We will have an opportunity for the public to make comment as provided in the agenda. And a few notes about this. Comments should be limited to one person and can be made verbally by calling in or in writing via the live stream Q&A feature. If you are participating via Teams application, you can use the Q&A feature and type your comments in the box anytime during our meeting. We will have those queued up to read. The Q&A function should be used to request technical assistance or to submit public comments directed to the Commission. If you would like to make verbal comments, you must call into the meeting by phone, and to minimize disruptions, attendees will be muted until we reach the time for public comment. With that, the first order for business is approval of the agenda for today's meeting, and I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
Thank you, Chair. I move for the approval of the agenda for today's Commission meeting.
Commissioner Paratek?
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve today's agenda. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Paratek?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote, and the agenda is approved. The next item of business on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the February 4, 2021 Commission meeting. Commissioner Phillips?
I move for the approval of the minutes from the February 4th, 2021 Commission meeting.
Commissioner Paratek?
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the minutes from the February 4, 2021 Commission meeting. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Paratek?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The Commission meeting minutes of February 4th, 2021 are approved. The next item of business on the agenda is consideration of the Commission's bylaws. Under Article 3, Section 2A, the Commission conducts an organizational meeting after the appointment of a new Commissioner. In light of Commissioner Paratek's recent appointment, today's meeting is also functioning as an organizational meeting. The purpose of the organizational meeting is to either reaffirm the current bylaws or to consider a motion to amend the bylaws. And I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
Thank you, Chair, and congratulations once again, Commissioner Paratek. I move to reaffirm the Commission's bylaws, which were adopted on February 6, 2020.
Commissioner Paratek?
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to reaffirm the Commission's bylaws. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Paratek?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The Commission's bylaws are reaffirmed, and the organizational portion of today's meeting is concluded. The next item of business on the agenda is the approval of the orders on the consent agenda, and today the Commission is assisted by Staff Attorney Leah Arndt. I recognize Ms. Arndt.
Good afternoon. Today's consent agenda consists of 2 communications matters and 3 electric matters. The proposed orders for these matters have been thoroughly vetted by the Commission's technical and legal staff and are ready for your approval.
Commissioner Phillips?
Thank you, Chair. I move for the approval of the orders on the consent agenda.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the orders on the consent agenda. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Pertek?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The orders on the consent agenda are approved. Ms. Arndt, back to you.
Item 5A1 is case number U-20720, which involves an application and an amended application filed by Point Broadband Fiber Holding LLC to expand the geographic area of its designation as a high-cost eligible telecommunications carrier to correspond with the census blocks that the company was awarded in the Federal Communications Commission's December 7th, 2020 Rural Digital Opportunity Fund auction. The order before you approves the application as amended.
Thank you, Ms. Arndt. I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20720.
Commissioner Pertek?
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Pertek?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20720 is approved. Ms. Arndt?
Item 5B1 is case numbers U-18095 et al., which involve a motion filed by Upper Michigan Energy Resources Corporation requesting authority to extend its deadline for filing its Public Utility Regulatory Policies Act of 1978 avoided cost review and to integrate its avoided cost review into its upcoming Integrated Resource Plan filing. The order before you grants the motion.
Thank you, Ms. Arndt. I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
Thank you, Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-18095 et al.
Commissioner Pertek?
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Pertek?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote, and the order in case numbers U-18095 et al. is approved. Recognize Ms. Arndt.
Item 5B2 is case number U-20604, which involves an application by Consumers Energy Company requesting ex parte approval of a power purchase agreement with Good Fruit Storage LLC. The order before you approves the application.
Thank you, Ms. Arndt. I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20604.
I recognize Commissioner Pertek.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Pertek?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote, and the order in case number U-20604 is approved. Ms. Arndt?
Item 5B3 is case numbers U-20633 et al., which involve consideration of revisions to the filing requirements for near-term Integrated Resource Plan filings in light of a recent executive order and executive directive addressing climate change. Staff member Naomi Simpson will describe this order.
Good afternoon, Chair Scripps and Commissioners Phillips and Pertek. My name is Naomi Simpson, and I am the manager of the Resource Optimization and Certification section in the Energy Resources Division. The order before you in case number U-20633 expands upon prior orders establishing the Michigan Integrated Resource Planning parameters and the Integrated Resource Filing requirements. It also incorporates the Executive Directive 2020-10 issued by Governor Whitmer on September 23, 2020, which announced the My Healthy Climate Plan. In ED 2020-10, Governor Whitmer stated that by joining the U.S. Climate Alliance, Michigan committed to pursuing at least 26 to 28% reduction below 2005 levels in greenhouse gas emissions by 2025, and to accelerate new and existing policies to reduce carbon pollution and promote clean energy deployment at a state and federal level. The order before you directs Consumers Energy, Indiana-Michigan Power Company, Upper Michigan Energy Resources Corporation, and any utility filing a near-term IRP to include 2 additional model runs in that filing that will assist the state of Michigan in achieving the targeted carbon reductions by 2025. This order builds upon the foundation from multiple prior orders and reflects stakeholder input from the Commission's ongoing My Power Grid initiative. Additionally, U20633 incorporates the carbon neutrality policy goals from Governor Whitmer's My Healthy Climate Plan by illustrating a trend that positions the utilities to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050. This order establishes how carbon reduction goals will be incorporated into near-term integrated resource plans filed before the Commission and is inclusive of multi-state utilities. Utilities that plan to file near-term IRPs shall perform 2 additional model runs as part of their integrated resource plan to reflect carbon emission reductions. These runs will quantify all emissions attributable to energy used to serve customers' load, plus internal use and losses, which includes carbon emission estimates from owned generation units, power purchase agreements, and carbon emissions attributable to market purchases and sales. The load growth used in these additional runs shall continue to be 1.5% annually. To ensure multi-state utilities that have resources serving Michigan load are on the same track as utilities located wholly within Michigan, multi-state utilities that file an integrated resource plan pursuant to Section 6T of Public Act 341 shall also perform 2 model runs in addition to the utility's own scenarios and sensitivities. The additional runs shall demonstrate a total portfolio reduction in carbon emissions that achieves the Michigan targets proportional to the amount of load that its Michigan jurisdiction represents as compared to the total customer load across all states served. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Simpson. And I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
Thank you, Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20633 et al.
I recognize Commissioner Paratek.
I second the motion.
Before we vote, I want to thank our staff and the other stakeholders who acted quickly to help us understand how the climate targets announced in Governor Whitmer's My Healthy Climate Plan could be considered in utility resource planning, including in those integrated resource plans filed before the updates to the planning parameters and filing requirements are completed next year. I think the modeling requirements contained in today's order are a good first step in understanding the contributions of the power sector in meeting the economy-wide targets of a 28% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions by 2025 on our way to net zero emissions by 2050. And I look forward to engagement and further input from the Council on Climate Solutions as we move forward. Is there any further discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Paratek.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case numbers U-20633 et al. Is approved. Back to you, Ms. Arndt.
Item 5B4 is case number U-20735, which involves an action on the Commission's own motion to amend the rules that govern the preservation of records for electric, gas, and steam utilities. The order before you approves the schedule for a public hearing on March 24th, 2021, and the receipt of written comments on the proposed amendments to the rule set.
Thank you, Ms. Arndt. I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20735.
Commissioner Paratek.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Paratek.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20735 is approved. Ms. Arndt?
Item 5B5 is case number U-20757, which involves a matter on the Commission's own motion to review its response to the COVID-19 pandemic and next steps. Staff member Ann Armstrong will describe this order.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Ann Armstrong, and I am the Director of the Customer Service Division. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to U-2757, the Commission's own motion on COVID-19 response. Today, I will primarily address the customer assistance and protection elements of this docket. From the first confirmed case of COVID-19 in February 2020, the Commission acted expeditiously to safeguard the safety, reliability, and accessibility of critical infrastructure, including energy and telecommunication services under its jurisdiction. The Commission first formally responded to the pandemic on April 15, 2020, issuing an order in case number U-2757, asking electric, natural gas, and telecommunications providers to complete several actions, including customer protections and affordability, accounting treatment, regulatory activities, energy assistance coordination, energy waste reduction and demand response continuity, and broadband access and expansion efforts. On July 23, 2020, the Commission issued its second COVID-19 response order, summarizing progress on compliance with and comments in response to the Commission's first order, and detailing the Commission's next steps in addressing challenges from the pandemic. This included directing staff to continue communication and collaboration with energy and telecommunication providers and stakeholders to identify and address issues as they arise, to work with energy utilities and other stakeholders on potential improvements to utility affordability payment plans, and to produce a report summarizing the discussions, including any recommendations by December 15, 2020. The Commission also directed the rate-regulated utilities to continue submitting data on customer shutoffs and arrearage efforts and assist staff in developing a template to consistently track customer safety. In today's order, the Commission summarizes ongoing COVID-19 response efforts, specifically detailing the findings and recommendations of the December 15 Collaboration and Communication Process Report. This includes outlining available energy assistance and customer protections, providing an overview of collaborations with telecommunications providers, energy providers, and stakeholders to further the understanding of concerns over affordability and finding solutions to improve energy assistance options. The order then discusses the Commission response to the recommendations of the report, noting that ongoing collaboration and communication have been highly valuable and should continue in the work to address the pandemic. The order directs staff to convene an energy affordability and accessibility collaborative in coordination with the Energy Waste Reduction and Low Income Work Group to address recommendations on COVID-19 response, affordable energy bills, data collection, transparency and analysis, review of rule-based protections, and communication and engagement. Because of the complexity of this work and the ongoing nature of this work, the Commission directs staff to file an interim report on progress made with any recommendations by December 17, 2021. The Commission also directs the My Power Grid Customer Education and Participation Work Group to address recommendations regarding outreach and education for COVID-19 response and coordinate with the Energy Affordability and Accessibility Collaboration. The Commission acknowledges the importance of data collection in understanding customer safety, directs the investor-owned utilities to continue filing monthly shutoff and arrearage reports, and directs staff to make this data publicly available in a protected, more easily analyzed form. The Commission also deemed staff's recommendation to develop a long-term data collection strategy worthwhile and directs the new collaborative to coordinate strategy development with ongoing data collection. Notably, the Commission directs staff to add demographic information into the data and to consult with the Commission's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Initiative. Commissioners, this concludes my remarks on this third order on COVID-19 response in U2757.
Thank you, Ms. Armstrong, and thank you as well for the work of the Customer Assistance Division and indeed for the work of staff throughout the Commission, for your diligent work from day one of this pandemic to ensure that we were closely monitoring the situation and for collaborating with utilities, customer advocates, and other stakeholders to make sure those struggling with their utility bills remained front of mind every step of the way. And with that, I recognize Commissioner Phillips for a motion.
Thank you, Ms. Armstrong, for the presentation, and I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20757.
Commissioner Paratek,
I second the motion.
is there any discussion?
The only comment I would like to make, Chair, is that I am very ecstatic about the collaborative being brought together through this order. And I'm also just, I applaud the EWR Low Income Working Group and your team, Ann, for considering the integration of those two initiatives and really looking to explore that and leveraging the immense talent and the stakeholders that have been brought together by our staff leading the EWR Low Income Work Group. So thank you once again, and really look forward to engaging with this effort. Thank you, Chair.
Well said, Commissioner. Any further discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Paratek.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20757, is approved. Ms. Arndt.
Item 5B6 is case number U-20959, which involves a matter on the Commission's own motion to commence a collaborative to consider issues related to customer engagement, including customer data access and usage. The order before you, 1, establishes the Customer Education and Participation Workgroup. 2, integrates the Customer Data Access section of the Data Access and Privacy Workgroup into the Customer Education and Participation Workgroup. And 3, directs the Commission staff to provide a status report not later than February 25th, 2022.
Thank you, Ms. Arndt. I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
Thank you, Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20959.
Commissioner Paratek.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion?
I do have brief comments to make, Chair. As outlined by the Commission in previous My Power Grid proceedings, Michigan's energy system is undergoing a fundamental shift from large central station power plants to cleaner and more distributed energy resources. And the first round of integrated resource plans reveals that this transition will require not only deployments of supply side wind, solar, and other generating resources, but will necessitate the considerable engagement of customers and deployment of demand side resources. The dramatic events in Texas and throughout the South and Great Plains this week further highlights that the energy system, our energy customer of the future, will increasingly be relied upon to be active, engaged, and dependable participants in ensuring the reliability of the energy ecosystem. The My Power Grid Customer Education and Participation Workgroup, initiated through this proposed order, recognizes the enhanced role of energy customers and directs staff to convene stakeholders and provide recommendations for the Commission that facilitate customer engagement, participation, and adoption of energy waste reduction and demand response programs, time of use rates, and other demand side measures, technologies, and dynamic rate offerings. Additionally, the Commission acknowledges the important role of data access for both customers and consented to third parties, and will have in the role that data access will have in maximizing the participation of customers, and thus integrates the customer data access section of the My Power Grid Customer Data Access and Privacy Workgroup into the Customer Education and Participation Workgroup. Lastly, historically marginalized and underserved communities continue to experience greater challenges and less access to demand-side technologies and programs that we know are critical to facilitating this ongoing energy transition. The Commission recognizes that this work group represents an opportunity for our staff to work with stakeholders and participants of the Commission's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Initiative. By working with the aforementioned parties, staff may be able to formulate recommendations on how the Commission can lessen or avoid perpetuating these systemic inequalities and encourage more diverse participation in the programs that will ensure the reliability and resilience of our energy system. So I would like to just thank once again Jenna Bachman from our RAD division and Ann Armstrong and Pat Hudson, as well as their respective teams, for being all in and on call throughout the last several weeks to pull together this order. And I'm excited to work closely with all of you and with stakeholders as we kick off this work group later this year. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Phillips. I appreciate your leadership and continued focus on these issues, and we're fortunate to have you in leading this effort. Any further discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Peretick?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20959 is approved. Ms. Arndt?
Item 5C1 is case number U-20853, which involves an application filed by Michigan Gas Utilities Corporation for a certificate of public convenience and necessity to construct and operate a natural gas transmitter pipeline to replace the aging Partello transmission pipeline in Calhoun County, Michigan. The order before you approves the settlement agreement resolving all issues in the case and makes the required agency findings regarding the replacement pipeline's environmental impact.
Thank you, Ms. Arndt. I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
Chair, I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20853.
Commissioner Peretick?
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Peretick?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote, and the order in case number U-20853 is approved. Ms. Arndt?
Item 5C2 is case number U-20903, which involves proposed amendments to the rules governing gas safety. The order before you approves the schedule for a public hearing on March 24th, 2021, and the receipt of written comments on the proposed amendments to the rule set.
Ms. Arndt, I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
Thank you, Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20903.
Commissioner Peretick?
I second the motion.
Just before we vote, this order, along with the previous order authorizing the replacement of an aging gas transmission line in Calhoun County, I think serve to reinforce our commitment to the safety of our natural gas infrastructure, and that's a commitment that has long been a central priority of this commission. I also want to thank our gas operations team for their ongoing work on gas safety and for their leadership in this area. Is there any further discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Peretick?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20903 is approved. Ms. Arndt?
Item 5C3 is case numbers U-20978 et al., which involve a matter on the Commission's own motion to open an investigation into the marketing and business practices of Realgy LLC, doing business as Realgy Energy Services. The order before you commences the investigation.
Thank you, Ms. Arndt. I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20978 et al.
Commissioner Peretick?
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Peretick?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case numbers U-20978 et al. is approved. We have now reached the time reserved for members of the public to address the Commission. Again, if you would like to make a comment and have access to the Teams live stream Q&A feature on your computer, please enter your name and your comment, which will then be read aloud to the Commissioners. This feature is available on the right-hand side of the control bar next to the mute button. As a reminder, the Q&A feature is intended for public comments directed to the Commission and not to engage with other participants or respond to their comments. After taking any comments through this feature, we will open up the phone line for those who called into the meeting and would like to address the Commission verbally. If you want to be queued up for verbal comments, please enter your name in the live stream Q&A feature and indicate that you wish to make a verbal comment, but please do not include your written comment, as this will avoid duplication. I will first call on these names in the order received. After hearing from those individuals listed in the Q&A, we will ask if there are any comments from individuals who are on the phone line but not utilizing the online Q&A feature. Please note that you can only make verbal comments by calling into the meeting. When it is your turn to speak, press *6 on your phone to unmute. As a reminder, this public comment period is for Commissioners to listen to comments and concerns and not to answer specific questions. When providing comment, please indicate your name and where you live if you are willing to share, so we have that for our records. And please limit comments to 1 per person and keep them brief, no longer than 3 minutes, so we have a chance to hear from all who would like to comment. I believe Ms. Cole is again ably assisting us with the public comment period. And Ms. Cole, are there any comments that have been entered into the Q&A feature that you'd like to read aloud at this time?
Chair Scripps, there are no comments entered at this time.
I will follow up by asking if there are any folks who have entered their names indicating an interest in providing a verbal comment.
None at this time.
Okay. We'll now open up the phone lines to anybody who's unable to enter their name in the online Q&A feature and see if there's anybody on the phone who would like to make a public comment at this time. And again, *6 to unmute. We'll pause here just for a second and see if there's anybody out there who's trying to unmute or thinks maybe they have been unmuted who would like to make a comment at this time. *6 again to unmute on your phone. And we'll go one more time. If you'd like to make a comment, press *6. You can unmute yourself and we'd love to hear from you. Okay, we will conclude the public comment period today. I do have 2 announcements before we wrap up. First, earlier this week, the Commission submitted to the Legislature our annual reports on energy waste reduction and renewable energy, and a few highlights from those reports. On the energy waste reduction side, the report showed that for every dollar spent on these programs in 2019, customers will see savings of $3.30. And total savings for the energy waste reduction measures adopted in 2019 will total $1.2 billion in savings for customers over the next 12 years. In addition, the cost of those measures was $16.61 per megawatt hour, or 1.6 cents per kilowatt hour, significantly cheaper than any generation resource. For renewable energy, all electric providers cost effectively met the renewable portfolio standard of 12.5% for 2019 and are on track to meet both the RPS of 15% by 2021 and the clean energy target of meeting 35% of our electricity needs through renewable energy and energy efficiency by 2025. I want to thank both the renewable energy and energy waste reduction sections for their ongoing leadership, as well as recognizing the stakeholders engaged in our EWR low income work group. This is the second shout out you've gotten this meeting for your continued good work to ensure low income communities are included in these savings. Second, as Commissioner Phillips noted earlier, the operation of our energy systems has gotten a lot of scrutiny across the country as the deep freeze impacting Texas and a significant portion of the South and Great Plains continues to sort of hold on. We've seen outages in ERCOT, MISO, and the Southwest Power Pool, and a lot of people questioning how this happened and what we need to do to make sure it doesn't happen again. I want to express that the thoughts of this commission are with those dealing with these historic outages, facing significant issues from burst pipes and indeed struggling in some cases to keep warm. I also want to thank the crews from Consumers Energy, DTE, and other utilities who headed south earlier this week to assist in power restoration and recovery. I expect this will result in greater scrutiny and some hard questions. It should. Here in Michigan, when pushed as a result of the 29 polar vortex, we face some of the same hard questions, resulting in our comprehensive 200-plus page, statewide energy assessment focusing on electricity, natural gas, propane, energy emergencies, and cyber and physical security. I still keep a copy close and refer to it often. In that instance, the system worked. Our power stayed on and heat remained uninterrupted. But the findings and recommendations of that report have helped to improve our operations, those of the utilities and other energy providers, and put us in a better position to withstand the next emergency. My hope is that some of the same results will come out of the challenges we've seen over the last week across the country, and we in Michigan pledge to be a partner in those efforts. I also want to recognize our staff who are focused on these issues every single day on behalf of the people of Michigan. Our electric and gas operations teams that oversee this critical infrastructure, and our energy security team, who actively monitor propane, petroleum, and other unregulated market segments. And if I could, I'd like to close on a personal note by offering my support and encouragement to former MPSC Chairman Sally Talberg. When emergencies like the one in Texas arise, it's easy to find someone to blame. It's much harder to focus on the underlying challenges, to ask tough questions, and work to find real solutions. But having worked with her, I know that there's no person better equipped to sort through these issues than Sally, and her experience and passion are an asset to our friends in Texas, and I hope will be a key part of how they recover. Commissioners Paratek or Phillips, do either of you have any concluding remarks or announcements?
I would just like to concur with your sentiments, Chair, and that the Texas region is very fortunate to have former Chair Talberg there leading them through this crisis. And I also wish those employees and utility workers from this region who are traveling to those impacted regions safe travels and a safe return trip back to the great state of Michigan. Thank you, Chair.
And with that, we will, sorry, Commissioner Paratek, did I cut you off? All right, with that, we will conclude today's meeting. The next regular commission meeting is scheduled for Thursday, March 4th, 2021 at 1:30 p.m. Is there a motion to adjourn, Commissioner Phillips?
I move to adjourn today's meeting, Chair.
Commissioner Paratek.
I second the motion.
We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to adjourn the meeting. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Paratek?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote, and today's meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.